It's not logical to impeach a governor even before she has laid the foundation of her government. Impeachment of the governor for Meru County. The council recognizes and appreciates the critical role that the Senate plays in representing the counties and protecting their interests. The pivotal role of the Senate in the process of impeachment for governors, as outlined in Article 81 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, cannot be underscored. We implore upon the Senate to be guided by the rule of law and the jurisprudence set by the honorable courts on the threshold for removal of a governor. The Senate also needs to take into account the peculiar facts and the circumstances of the case. The governor has been in office for a period of 4 months only, and to date, she has not yet been fully able to set up her government. As a council, we are committed to ensuring that our 47 governments remain accountable, transparent, responsive, and effective in delivering of the public good. We urge the Senate to consider enacting a legislation that will regulate the relationship between the county assemblies and the executive. The law should also provide for timelines within which an impeachment motion can be introduced in the assemblies that mirrors the procedure for recall under the Elections Act. There isn't a time frame that we've agreed upon, but at least we take cognizance of the fact that there is a timeline in the law to initiate a recall process for people in the legislature. And I think for governors it would be reasonable, you ask me, and that's an individual opinion because we haven't really consulted on that. And should there be an amendment to the law or an enactment of an impeachment law, we'll probably take a position as a council. At least give the governor up to half the time. Yeah. You know how the process in this country works, my friend. You are elected, first of all, in many cases you're taken through impeachment for the first 6 months. Election petition. Like she's dealing with, like I'm dealing with, a number of us are dealing with. By the time you settle to work, after 2 years, campaign gine meanza. When do you work? So there has to be a timeline. Give the governor, first of all, some timeline. But we haven't taken a position as a council. As a minimum, we're saying it must be not less than the time in law that there is to recall. Yeah. Basically, what we're saying here is there should be an impeachment law that sets the threshold for impeaching a governor. It's not logical to impeach a governor even before she has laid the foundation of her government. That you don't like a person or the way they speak is not a reason to impeach a governor. What can someone have done so wrong even before they have set up the structures of their government? This is a person who was elected by the electorate in an election. She got votes directly from the voters. And even before she has set up structures of her government, MCAs don't like her and they want to use that as a reason to impeach her. So what we are saying is, what is the threshold of impeachment? And then, what are the timelines? What are the timelines? Should there be a timeline, first of all, for the county to have done work, for the governor to have been in office, to have made mistakes, because she hasn't even started. So do you regard somebody even before they've kicked the ball?
So in my hearing of what you're saying is, you feel that you need to protect yourselves, have a buffer before anyone can seek to impeach a government?
It's not about protecting ourselves. It is about the stability of counties. Counties are governments. They are a level of government. And it's very clear in our constitution that the sovereignty of the people of Kenya is exercised at the county and at the national level. If what is happening in Meru happens in all counties, or even in half of the counties, this country will be unmanageable. There will be no service delivery whatsoever to the people of Kenya. Then there's even no point of going to elections for people to be elected by the masses, by the voters, into office. But I'll ask my brother to add something on that.
I think what the Vice Chair is saying, if you look at the laws governing recalling of MPs, for example, it says that you cannot recall an MP before 12 months, before 1 year has ended. And you can't also recall an MP in the last 1 year to election. So you have just the 3 years in between. So this is what we're also saying as governors. Can there be a law that governs within which period you can reasonably have been said to have had, broken the law to the extent of impeachment? The other more important aspect is the issue of the threshold. Because when they say gross violation of the Constitution, what are those thresholds and how do you measure them before you actually proceed? And this is to say senators are free to do their work as outlined in the Constitution. I think that we recognize, but we just say for purposes of stability of counties and devolution, it's important to have those guidelines.
And in all our counties, if there's no standards and thresholds for impeachment, then immediately after election, there are powerful people in these counties that you'll have contested against or who are opposing you. And they'll immediately start the process of impeaching you. So then, what is the point of going to an election to seek the mandate of the masses? There must be standards and there must be some threshold. And there must be timelines to actually see whether the county has worked effectively. And there must be something that the governor commits, which is so grave as to require the impeachment. It can't be that you don't like our style. Yeah. And as a council, we're involved in this, in the sense that we're trying to bring them together, to hear both sides. And I was chairing with Madam Chair those discussions. I can tell you here, and there are governors who are part of that committee, there is nothing really of substance for which our sister has been impeached. Absolutely nothing. Things like she's a populist. There's nothing wrong with being populist. If the masses like you, they like you. Yeah.
Or that her husband is always by her. I think surely even our gentlemen governors here have their first ladies with them, and nobody seems to notice that. So I think some of that is... Yeah.